It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the George Washington assistant swim and diving coach, Kate Stefi. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Brandon. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to start college coaching?
Sure. Um, I kind of opening experience. At the same time, I had started coaching the year or two prior, just summer club. So I decided I'm going to throw out the idea I thought I was going to do when I went to college and pursue college coaching. And it's been great ever since.
Can you talk about, of course, your first time getting the coaching job at USU?
Yeah, so my first coaching job at Union College in upstate New York, I was referred by my coach. It was a lot of fun. It was definitely to worrying about the whole team, and you kind of realize that a lot was going on behind the scenes when you were an athlete and you thought life was so simple. There was a lot that went into your workouts and your meet and your travel and all your gear. So that was a really exciting experience. I was really fortunate that my boss at the time, Scott Felix, who became another mentor of mine, really helped me learn a lot, and he allowed me to experience and try and do all aspects of coaching and swimming. So that was a really great experience to kind of set the foundation of my coaching career in terms of being able to do all aspects of the job that made me hireable going forward. So that was a good experience to start.
What was your time like whenever you got to Springfield College?
Yeah, so that was a good experience at Springfield because I got to pursue my master's degree in sport management. And I was a graduate assistant, so I was also teaching classes, which was a good experience to let me help work with other coaches and learn the teaching process and forming a syllabus process. And then I was also a full-time coach. So it was a very busy time, but it was another great learning experience in that I got experience in a lot of aspects of the coaching job, recruiting. I got to have my own group for the first time and coach distance swimmers up at Springfield. At the same time, I was getting a master's degree and learning how to teach as well. So it was a great experience, again, in terms of learning and kind of building a foundation as an educator.
When you got to Union, what did you accomplish at Union College?
Sure. So I was only at Union for a short time, and it was my first college coaching experience. So I can't take a whole lot of credit. I helped. It was a lot of office work, a lot of organization. I learned how to recruit and kind of got my foot in the door on the process of finding recruits and bringing them to Union. So that was fun. We also had some female NCAA qualifiers, so it was great to have a relay at NCAAs whenever you're going to the national meet, whatever level you're at. It's kind of a positive check mark in your book. So that was fun, and it was fun to take a relay of women and have a good experience there. Union is also unique in that they're in two leagues. So we won the Liberty League when I was there, and we were Liberty League staff of the year. So that was exciting, and it was just a fun time to learn and experience the aspects of coaching for the first time.
What was your playing career like as a swimming?
Yeah, like I said earlier, it was huge at Kalamazoo, and I wanted to do that. So I chose a school based on the fact that I could study abroad, I could swim all 4 years, and it could parlay me into a great grad school. So I chose Kalamazoo for academic, but I knew I could swim there, and and on my recruiting, became my teammate for 4 years. So it was a good experience at Kalamazoo. I improved all throughout my college career, which is I realize I'm very fortunate to have done that as a female college athlete. Now that I'm a coach, it's a little bit harder to do. So I had a great time. I did study, and yeah, by the time I was a senior, I had a lot of fun to watch that and watch the team grow and progress while I was there.
What was your time like as the recruitment coordinator at Youngstown State?
Sure. So at Youngstown, it was a small staff. It was just myself, the head coach, and the diving coach. So, between myself and the head coach, we were doing all the recruiting. That was interesting because when I started, we had a very old recruiting software system that we used, and then while I was there, we were transitioning to a new system, which was awesome. And that Youngstown was my first introduction to Division One. That was when I started coaching the Division One level. So to go from Division Three at Springfield, where we didn't have any money, but in the Division Three level, there's also not too many recruiting roles. So you can contact people whenever, you can, meet people whenever. You just don't have any money to offer them. So that was an interesting turn of events to go from no rules, but no money to, man, there's a lot of rules now at the Division One level in terms of recruiting, but also that now there's scholarships involved. So that, kind of going through the whole process of a Division One recruiting experience, initial calls, cold calls, finding athletes, to bringing them on official visits, planning their whole official visit, picking them up at the airport, driving them around, and then, making offers and getting athletes to sign. So it was another really good learning experience, and fun to kind of go from one division to the other and to be able to directly compare the different experiences. So that was fun.
How has your stops along your way got you to where you are now with George Washington as the recruitment coordinator and assistant coach?
Yeah. So, well, for us, recruiting is a full team activity. I think we're all recruiting. We're definitely all recruiters, recruiting coordinators, head recruiters. But all of my stops along the way have definitely prepared me for this position. My Division Three stops, I learned every possible aspect of swim coaching. Running a meet, teaching swim lessons, swim camp, all the way up to, conference championships and planning trips. So each stop I've had has kind of been another building block in my education. And I was really fortunate when I applied for the George Washington job here. It was a new head coach at the time, and he was looking for someone he didn't know, actually, and for someone who had different experiences than him. So I'm very fortunate that was the case, and I'm very thankful to him for giving me that opportunity. A lot of coaches like to hire people they're familiar with, people that that swam for them, people they worked with before. So it was very cool to be hired as someone with a different experience and someone who had experiences that he thought would be valuable for building the program. So that was nice, and it was kind of cool that all my previous experience kind of paid off and kind of helped me land the job here and build a program.
Of course, what were some of your roles before COVID, and what are your roles now while COVID's a factor?
Yeah, so I'm pretty much doing a lot of the same roles. We're still recruiting, we're still having practice, we're still competing. We just got back from our conference championship. That recruiting is more online for the past year and 1 month now. Your recruiting has to be online. It's been a dead period, which is about to lift. We're very excited. But so that's been interesting to go from in-person recruiter to now just 100% online. And, I've become fluent in Zoom meetings and Zoom presentations and setting up, tours and, online photo galleries so athletes know what the campus is like. I've gotten better and more involved in our social media because, again, that's one of the few ways we can reach out to recruits, kind of show them what our campus is like and what our team culture is like. So basically all the same duties, but with a little COVID twist, and just picking up some additional skills too. Also, of course, I've become fluent in taking temperatures, checking badges and credentials to make sure everyone is on top of their COVID testing. But yeah, it's been an adventure this year for sure. It's definitely different coaching with a mask on and trying to figure that out. And social distancing, we've learned how to set up workouts in a social distanced manner. So yeah, it's been an adventure, but hopefully we're getting back a little more to normal this summer.
As of course, recruitment is opening back up and more people are going out on official visits, what do you prepare for whenever you go out on these official visits after being away from them for a year?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. We'll definitely have to knock the rust off a little bit and remember our hospitality skills and what goes into our recruiting visits. We'll probably have to kind of readjust our plans. Usually in the past, official visits involve a lot of group activities. They involve a lot of team meals. So, with COVID, we got to figure out how to do that social distance. Luckily, it's lovely weather here in DC in the summer, maybe a little warm. So it'll probably involve a lot of picnics, a lot of outside meals. And we'll kind of have to reestablish connections with local restaurants and other activities to see who's still open, who can still host teams and athletes, and who can cater, who can provide us with takeout meals so we can go eat outside socially distanced. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. We're looking, hopefully going to get some guidance here from the university on what our visits can look like, who we can have on campus, how many, and kind of restart the process. It's everything in COVID is new and you're learning new lessons. So hopefully we can put what we've learned so far in use in these recruiting visits now that they start up again.
What does an official visit look like before COVID?
Sure. Before COVID, our recruits would come in on like a Friday morning. For us, it's super important to get that academic experience. So we want them to meet with an academic advisor. If they haven't toured campus before, they get a campus tour. They might go to a class with an athlete so they kind of know what class is like. They have meetings with different people in the department, with all the coaches, have some meals with the team. Usually we try to eat lunch either in our kind of campus quad, Kogan Plaza, or district house, where we have a lot of different food options. And then they catch a little bit of practice. Might have an individual meeting with a professor if that's something they're interested in. And then we hike it over to a team dinner, usually in the Friday afternoon. For us, where we're located right in the heart of Washington, D.C., we're very fortunate that we can walk a couple blocks. They get a little tour of D.C., see the sights, see the White House, and then have a delicious dinner. And then they pretty much hang out with the team all Friday. Saturday, we usually do like a brunch or a lunch, again, so they can spend more time with the team. Coaches, we'll talk to recruits. They want to talk to us, but they really want to talk to the team. So we try to get them as much time with the team as possible. And then Sunday, hopefully it's not too early of a wake up for them so they can hop on a plane and head back home and hopefully commit the next week to GW.
Of course, what is a typical swim meet like?
Sure. There's a lot. Well, we've done swim meets a lot of different ways. We try to be a little creative sometimes. For us, home meets are a really rowdy experience. We have a smaller home facility here on campus, and a much larger facility off campus. But our home facility is small, so it's always packed. It's standing room only. We have the whole stands are full. The sides of the pool are full with spectators, so that's really exciting. Our team culture is that, we're one team, one family, men, women, swimmers, divers. Every event we support each other. So our meets at home are really loud. They're really rowdy. There's a lot of cheering. There's a lot of screaming. And hopefully it's a really good meet race wise. Hopefully we're matching up well with whoever's in town to race us. And they're pretty fun. Hopefully we'll have a few home meets next year. I think we're looking at 1 or 2 in the fall. So we'll see.
Who are some of the teams that you face in your home meets?
Oh gosh. Well, so we had one home meet last year, which was at our off-campus facility. So it could be nice and socially distanced. And that was with Marymount, which is just right across the river. So that was very nice of them to help us out and come have a meet with us. We've had a lot more home meet or away meets recently. We've swum this past year. We swam University of Virginia. We swim Navy a lot because Navy is just up the road from us in Annapolis. We swim Virginia Tech, West Virginia. Teams that are near, kind of in the area. We're very, again, because of our location, very fortunate that we have a lot of great teams nearby. We pretty much yearly swim Howard, Georgetown. We have great schools in the city of Washington, D.C. to swim. So that's nice, and it's great for our athletes to have some really great competition within a 2 or 3 hour drive. So they're not missing as much class and they can focus on their academics, which is, of course, the most important thing.
What advice would you give upcoming future high school athletes looking to get into college swimming?
Oh, good question. Definitely be proactive. Reach out to the colleges you're interested in. Shoot a brief email to the coaches of the team you're interested in. I definitely recommend to everyone, don't just email the head coach. They get 50 million emails, not just from recruits, but from administrators, from current athletes. So email the head coach, but email all the assistants as well. You're more likely to get a response the more people you email. Always include your times. I'm always surprised swimming recruits that don't include your times. Always include your times in the email. And, some academics, that helps. That's something we have to look at here is, will an athlete be able to get into GW? And yeah, if they don't respond the first time, shoot them another email. Don't give up. But definitely, and always keep an open mind. When you're going through the recruiting process, I think there are hundreds, I think there's like over 300 Division I programs. There are hundreds of, Division II and Division III programs. Keep an open mind. You might grow up and your family might be big state school fans, or, if they're a small school, but don't limit yourself, especially in the beginning. Look at a lot of different schools, figure out what's best for you, and eventually narrow it down, but keep, broad search at the beginning and then figure out what is the best fit for you, because that's most important, is a school where you're comfortable and a school that will help you succeed for the 4 years you're there and then for your whole 40 plus year career after college.
That's great advice. What advice would you give upcoming college coaches looking to get into the industry?
I would say probably the most important thing is to be flexible in where you go and where you're willing to live. That is the best way to get experience, to advance in your career as a college coach, is to be able to move. I think I'm living in my 5th state, and everybody else on staff here pretty much has lived in 5+ states and been 4 or 5 different universities. So have an open mind, be willing to move, be willing to try new experiences at different schools. And then wherever you go, just try to learn, whether it's a big school, small school, private school, public school. Everything is a learning experience, good, bad, or otherwise. You can learn something from every situation, I believe. So that's my advice.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media, along with the George Washington Swim Program app?
Sure. So I'm on social media. I think my Instagram handle is at KT, the letters KT Stefi. I'm probably most active there. I'm on Twitter at GWSwimKatie, and then you can find our program at GW Swim Dive on Instagram. We're pretty active there, and GW Swim Dive on Twitter as well, I believe.
Thank you again, Coach Katie Stefi, for your interview, and best of luck at George Washington.
Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
You too. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Kate, for your interview, and best of luck.
Thank you. You too, Brandon.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.